welcome back to my channel. I'm Viviana and I have been sharing with you all about my show prep, and that show I was able to finish just a few days ago, and now I'm going to share with you my post-show, what's next, what are my plans, and my feedback. Judgy, what does that mean? Today's coffee chat is about my show, and what we're talking about is my feedback, the judges' criteria. I've always been very honest with myself, but I always ask these two people here of what they think, and of course this one, first place.
Just being honest. Just keeping it with honey.
What, honey?
Nothing.
Keeping it real.
No, nothing honest over here. This one's okay, but she kind of like, oh, this is my mom, I don't want to hurt her
Depends
feelings.
on how hungry she is. She wants to go out to eat,
Or that.
hang out with her friends.
But now that the show is over and we're having coffee and talking about it, my way of seeing things.
As you can see, I don't have coffee because my mug is being used as a stand.
Doesn't matter. Anyway, what we were saying and what I was saying is that I think that the judges sometimes, because there's so many competitors and we already know what is expected from every category. We know that in the wellness you have to be bigger, the bottom, the legs, the glutes. Those are the things that are expected from a wellness category. So I think a lot of the times they just kind of like give you the same thing. You need to grow, you need this. For me, yesterday we need, the tie-ins to be more visible, and we were looking at the other ladies that were there and comparing. And then what was the other thing that they said, Amix, that I told you?
The upper glute.
The upper glute, and I have tie-ins better than the other people that were judged,
which is fine, and that's something that you can work on. But what we're doing is we're comparing against the other competitors and your upper glute and your tie-in. So it was kind of confusing a little bit as to how that decision was made. And to the other contestants, the upper glutes and the tie-ins looked a little bit better on Viviana.
So, and then there's categories, right? There's the open, everybody class A, and then there's the 40 plus. But I've done this for going on 13 years, and when I get my feedback, I go back and kind of work on that, which I did last year, came back better, and that's not taking away from the things that I have to improve, but it depends on who shows up, and it depends on the judges, because I can do a show today again with different judges, and they're going to judge me and say
The
something
judging criteria is
different
going to be different.
and what they're looking for, in addition to whomever shows up, right? So we get that. But I feel that a lot of the times they're just like robots. They're just like, grow your lower body, do this, and not really paying attention to the actual participants or athletes that are up there the day of. And before, like, they would tell me, oh, if there was like it's not flabby skin, it's what do you call it, like there's when you lose weight and then loose skin, right? Now we saw that happening too, but yet that was a placement. Last year there was a person with a lot of cellulite, and that person placed. It's just very confusing to the people that have been here for years and trying to get better at the sport.
And I think that the conclusion that we got to, it is a large show, and it is the same judges judging hundreds, if not thousands, of competitors on these shows. So I can see where towards the end and at the finals, trying to judge, number one, what we kind of figured is judging the top three or the winners is
The goal.
kind of the goal, their focus, and that everybody after that though is just kind of put in a box, and they're just kind of given generic information about what their improvements need to be. And we really, I mean, not to talk about this, but we spend a lot of money. Viviana spends a lot of time to be up there for that moment, and that feedback would be very appreciative because she is somebody that takes this serious. and I'm sure everybody else does as well. I'm sure that there's some novices and stuff that are just in it for
Funsies.
for funsies or for the first time. But Viviana is constantly trying to improve, and the improvements that she has to do are going to take a whole year, right, or months, maybe more, depending on what it is. So the feedback is really important to us. So maybe that's something that the judges can work on. Maybe it's something that is not reasonable because, like I said, there's sometimes thousands of contestants, and it's really hard for a judge to see that. But that's just our opinion.
What is yours, Guata?
I think it's just they make you wait for a very long time to get
The feedback.
any sort of feedback from a judge, and then for the judge to just give you a general feedback. And also, it would be fine to wait that long if it was like a detailed feedback about you personally, but it's not about you personally. It's sort of like, because it'd be different if it was like, okay, like I understand the feedback, it does make sense, but then it's like you're looking sort of like a, like what? Like it made no sense, because it was like, if that was my criteria, it, like I don't know, maybe they mixed up, and it's no hate towards the
Everybody
judges.
was beautiful. They are all great.
They all
and we
looked
get it.
great, but it was also like, it felt like you just gave us something random just to get my mom out of your face, you know, just to be like, here, okay, bye, shut up.
Bye. Yeah, and sometimes, and it depends on the show. There's times, this time was like, after your category, you have somebody. But there's been times that you have to wait until the show is over, like 11 p.m. And I'm there waiting until they give me the feedback. And that's what I'm gonna take to improve and to do better. So those of us that have been through this for many, many years, that's what we are basing ourselves, you know, on to improve and to do better. So I think maybe, I mean, it's just hard to tell. The good thing is, you know, we've done this and for years, and I have a coach, and so we're gonna kind of put together all of that so that we decide moving forward what we do.
One more thing to say, and I just realized this, and this might be the way to improve this. I'm not trying to make the NPC think of how they can improve, but this will get you some money, and we would be willing to pay for it if we can say, hey, let's sit down for 30 minutes with one of the judges after the fact, where they're all televised, they're all recorded. You can go through my videos, we can go on a step-by-step and look at everything, and you can give me actual feedback for your time. We'll pay $100 or $200 for that feedback. That's something that we would be willing to pay, but if, right, like judges at the end.
I didn't think of that, but that might be something.
Like if,
it's a
The only
business.
issue with that is that there's like thousands of people coming.
yeah, well, imagine thousands of
Dollars.
$200 sessions.
Well, but you're saying like have a meeting like
Not after the show, like after the
fact.
fact. Yeah, you'll have like
Sort
the
of
recordings
how
of
Paul
it.
looks at your videos
We
and
can
knows
sit down
what every
together, and you can be the actual judge, and we can have
Something like that.
not just feedback but conversation. It's like, hey, this is what I saw, this is what you saw,
And then
can you explain that to me? What are you actually looking for? Not to change the fact that who placed in what, but for me for Viviana to be able to sit down with you and have that discussion and really have a
I didn't
breakdown
think of that, and that's
of
a great idea. But another thing that he brought up when we were talking about this is that we have to remember that these are people like great athletes, Olympians, great athletes, but that doesn't make them experts at every category. That doesn't make them, you know, it's hard. We know that there's people that study this sport because they love it so much, and it's hard to get somebody like that in your panel, right? So it's a popular thing to get your figure Olympian to judging me, my wellness category. You know, it's just like certain things that we were talking about that we think, you know, we have to take into consideration. But again, that doesn't take away from being an amazing experience, being a great show, and I absolutely love it.
It's awesome.
We'll continue
Do it every
to
year.
do it.
Yeah.
These are just things that we were talking about over our coffee that we thought it'd be a good conversation and something good to share for
Well,
those athletes also.
And
Yeah.
also, it's no, like, we're not upset because of the criticism.
or the placement.
My mom loves being critiqued. Like, she loves knowing all the negatives because she
That's
thinks
what I
like
wanna
that's what's
know.
going to make me better is
Right.
knowing what I did wrong.
Yep.
And so it's not the fact that she was criticized that she's upset about. It's the fact that it's like there's nothing she can build from the criticism because it's sort of like
It wasn't like,
what is
it was a
generic.
general feedback.
Yeah, and that's the thing too, is that we I lost my train of thought. I was gonna say something.
that's how you interrupt me when we talk to then you lose your train of thought.
I think that this is just a great conversation to share with those athletes that maybe feel the same. It's like, what?
Yeah, I know what I was gonna
You
say.
know?
So, and not anything against the judges, or it's just our personal experience, because we know that the judges have to see these girls. And then here comes Viviana standing in front of me asking me questions about her performance. I might not remember exactly everything that I saw,
too
right?
many of you.
So many of them.
But they should they should write it down.
Well, I'm sure they write it down, but
See,
also
and the
like
lady
what?
that came to me, she had it written down. She went through it and said, yeah, wellness.
Yeah, but
Remember
it's
your
kind of
number.
like when you write a list of things that you're gonna order to make a cake, and it says eggs and whatever, and you're like, oh, I guess I'm gonna make scrambled eggs this morning, right? Like you write it down, but it's not. So it's always good to maybe have that video accompanying the feedback and more time to be able to sit down and talk to these people.
And also
And their
people-
time is worth money, so.
And like people wouldn't have to wait after the shows when they should be like home or eating
Eating a delicious burger.
And
But
also
we're willing
like
to pay, and I'm sure a lot of people are willing to do the same thing.
And
I
I'm
will
sure
bring
that-
that up to Bernadette.
Yeah.
and I'm sure the
Great idea.
judges don't really enjoy waiting after the shows either.
Yeah.
Like having to talk to all those competitors
So,
after.
to all
For
of you
free.
that are
For free.
athletes and have experienced this, I'm telling you, this is something that I've done for almost 13 years. It's okay. We will always have more to do and improve, and that's the beauty of this sport, that you get to go back and, okay, let's see how much we can grow and do better for next year. And I am really happy with my improvement, but just remember to understand that the feedback might be a little confusing. Talk to your coach, and then just kind of be very honest with yourself to look at what you need to improve. But don't let it get to you. This is just a portion of being an athlete in the bodybuilding. So I just thought we would share.
Some coffee.
That's our coffee. Good morning, everybody. It is a check-in day post-show. So I'm gonna go do my normal thing, go to my cardio, go to my training, come back, change, and get ready for check-in. The difference is this is my post-show check-in. So I will check in with my coach for judges' feedback, what his thoughts are on that, and then the recommendations for the next thing for us. So that is the difference, and that's what I'm gonna do, and I will share that with you. Okay, so we are checking in. I did gain a few pounds, and that's about to happen, right? That happens after post-show with the high sodium foods that I consumed, and due to the retention, you probably will. That's why I am, gaining a few pounds, but that's okay. And then other than that, I just went back to my normal training days, and post-show I did have like a plan so that I know what to follow after the show, how my macros, what to eat, and my cardio recommendations. So that was already planned out post-show, and then now I'm checking in to see how things are going and what is next. I'm going to share what I sent for my check-in post-show to my coach, so that you have some content on what he's going to respond. So I did give him the information that I got from my judges' feedback, which I did the day of, but since it was a post check-in and I have to write my summary, this is what I put on there. For the judges' feedback: rounder upper glute and more visible tie-ins, And I put on here, I feel that a lot of the times you stay to get the judges' feedback, and sometimes it's like a repetition of what's expected in that category. So, for bikini, it would be like come in leaner, more conditioned. And then for wellness, I put grow, right? Grow your lower body, grow your quads, tie-ins, glutes. That's the feedback that you get, in general for that category that you're doing. Now, I also put, I understand that there is a lot of athletes individually giving feedback is a lot. But sometimes you don't get the direct feedback for me a lot of the times, right? So I've been in the sport long enough to know that, and I'm very honest with myself. And I know exactly what I look like. I know exactly what I need to work on. But overall, I absolutely look the best I've ever looked. Improvement overall, and that's what we want. I don't think that if this is this is what I got from this show, and this is exactly what I wrote, I have no business planning for the Ben Weeder. I know that was the plan, but I'm okay with going back to improvement season with one show. We'll get back to work. We'll see if we compete. Later, I had a lot of fun, and as always, I enjoyed it all. The prep, the show, everything. It was so much fun. I didn't feel nervous at all. It was the most calm and easygoing show I have ever done. And as always, the production galvanized, amazing. And then I did also share on here that I am turning 45 this coming year. So that's, another category that I jumped to 45 and over. And then I talked about some of my health things going on. So there's a lot to consider, and this is where I would like your thoughts and your recommendations. I did get back to the gym as scheduled with the post-show program or plan that I had. I will need a new training block, and let's see, let me know what you think. I honestly think that this was the best we've looked, and average peak weight was 114.5, show day weight was 115.5, post-show or check-in was 118.5. So that is what I checked in with, and then now you're gonna hear what my coach, what he has to say and what he agrees on and does not, and that is it.
Miss Viviana, all right. Well, I'm really happy to hear that you felt the best you felt, right? And to me, that's the win. Judges' feedback is always going to vary from, judge to judge and show to show. And I've had the same feeling as you for quite some time. Sometimes I just feel like they're giving you kind of just bland feedback that's not specific. But ultimately, I think especially in the wellness category, you can afford to be leaner, right? And so that's going to give you a rounder upper glute, a more visible tie-in, and give you tighter core, right? So I think ultimately the feedback should have been just like, maybe come in a little bit leaner and see how the physique looks. Now, the fact that you turn 45 next year is exciting. And if you don't want to do Ben Weeder, and I kind of agree, I think it would be a challenge because I would want our conditioning to be a bit better for the national level shows. So my recommendation is we need to focus on doing a good job of staying lean, right? Every prep we've gotten better, but we still haven't brought your absolute all-time best. That's what it's going to take. So I'd like to make sure that we are just super stable in this phase. So I'd like you to keep cardio right now at 45 minutes a day for 5 or 6 sessions, depending on how you're feeling. But the goal is to just stabilize so we can start to bring the food back up. You completed your training block. I think as far as training goes, we've had success with this style of training, but when prep is over, Sometimes I feel like it's best to go back to an RPE style of training so you can go, based on how you're feeling on a given day. So I'm going to give you a upper lower split to follow for a little bit, and then we'll get back into some heavier lifting in the weeks ahead. Okay, thanks, Viviana.
Okay, everybody, so we are now done with the show. I wanted to do a post-show video just sharing with you my feedback, my honest thoughts the day of the show, post-show, and of course my follow-up check-in with my coach now that I finished the show, right, to know what is next. And really it is, what is the smart thing to do? Because I've been sharing with you how honest I am with myself. I know exactly what I need to work on, and I get it. This is a sport that it's never ending, which is what's great about it. You continue to look for ways to improve. And again, I enjoy it so much that is why I've done it for many, many years, right? But we also have to be very smart about the choices that we do when it comes to when we want to continue competing, if it's a smart thing to do, or if we need to kind of pull back a little bit. And again, all of this is going to depend on where you're at, what category you're doing. And so you heard my coach. So what we're going to be doing is we are going to maintain. So we're going to bring in calories higher, but maintain. So we're not going to go and reverse and start adding a lot more calories. We want to stay the leanest possible with the with some enough strength to be able to get back to my training blocks. And then depending on how things are going during this maintenance, then we are going to plan for a show, right? But again, you heard him. It all depends on how we look, our feedback. And so I shared with my coach, my personal thoughts, how I saw this, and why I thought we should probably wait until the next opportunity for a national show. Again, I am not one to do a show if I don't think I'm ready for it, or if I feel that that's not the smart thing to do. So for me, the smart thing to do is to wait. And I think in maintenance is going to be great, so that we can continue to be as lean as possible. Not lean, because we can't stay really lean, right? It's not healthy, and we've talked about this, to get our strength and everything back. But we don't have to bulk or get all this fat back in order for us to improve. So that's the plan. I did get a new training, and so that training is basically trying to slowly increase the weight that I'm lifting, since right now I just came from a show prep, right? And then eventually that's going to change. And then of course the calories to continue to go up. I did share with you my feedback, my personal feedback, my family, and this, again, these are just us thinking out loud. We don't take any of it personal. This is just us talking amongst us and what our thoughts are. Again, the show was incredible. We loved it. I'm ready to do another one. I love it that much. I will continue the sport until I stop having the passion that I do for the sport, right? But I wanted to share that with all of you so that you can see what was my feedback, what am I doing next. And so that is the plan. I will plan to share with you my post show, but as of now, this is what I got from the from the judges' feedback. This is what I got from my coach, and that is the plan moving forward. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you next time.